let's jump right in and tackle the wings. It's all about creating tension here. Grab it, pull it, and make a half circular cut around this little hump. Keep on pulling as you slice and you'll feel a pop. Bingo, that was the joint decoupling and that's where your knife shall go. Slice right through. Now, I like my wings to carry more meat. That's why I usually slice off a bit from the breast. Especially since chicken breasts nowadays are abnormally big. For a bit of flair, let's switch it up on the other side and lay the ground for an airline breast. That's when you keep the drumette part of the wing attached to the breast. It looks super cool when it's cooked, especially if you French the end of its bone a little.
To French the end of its bone a little. It's basically just a fancy culinary term for removing excess meat, fat or cartilage from the bony end of a cut.
Again, tension is key. Tuck the wing, make your cut, pull a bit more and locate the joint. Next, we're going after those legs. Place your knife flat against the drumstick and in one smooth stroke cut all the way down to the hip joint, slicing the skin and riding your knife along the back's exterior like so. Super easy, the leg is practically begging you to come apart. And the only thing you might want to pay attention here is to press the skin around the breast while slicing, or you might end up with a half skinless breast. By doing so, we basically sacrifice a bit of skin on the underside of the drum in order to maximize the skin coverage on the breast. Once your knife reaches the hip joints, grab both legs and boom, dislocate the bones. Flip the bird on its side and go for the oyster. That's that heavenly, juicy, tender morsel right here, nestled in the hollow of the upper pelvis.
Or, if you're as old as me, that's basically where those trendy lower back tattoos used to be.
You want to use the tip of your knife here. I took the smallest knife I got, but if you do this more often, you might want to consider a proper boning knife such as the Victorix Forstner, which I found to be used by many butchers during my research. Amazon link in the description below. Carefully scoop the oyster and smoothly cut along the backbone to detach the leg. Clean strokes, no sewing. Wonderful. Now you might be wondering where to separate the drumstick from the thigh, and rightfully so, the joint is fully covered by the juicy dark leg meat we all know and love. Search for this line of fat, that's where your knife wants to go. Bam! If your knife didn't go through, don't force it, you might have hit a bone. Slightly realign till you find the joint and go again, gently. Okay, time to take off those velvet gloves and separate the back from the breast. Place your knife here and cut through those cartilagey bits of the chicken's ribs, all the way through. Snap the back away from the breast and break any stubborn bones on your path so you can finish the cut. Feel free to use poultry shears if your knife can't handle it. Next, split the breasts by placing your knife exactly in the middle and forcefully cut.
No. Unless you want the huge breastbone to harm your precious knife. There is a much more elegant way.
Start by scoring this cartilage here to get access to this thick, flat bone inside the bird's sternum. That's the so-called keel bone, and every flying bird has one, for it serves as an anchor point for its slide muscles. Slide your thumb along the cartilage to detach the keel bone from the rest of the sternum. Expose the large end, pull, twist, do whatever it's needed to also get to the small end and fully detach it. Perfect. Now you can easily slide through the breast. Just make sure to evenly disperse the skin and cut right down the middle. If you mind dealing with bones when eating, you'll probably want to remove them from the breast right now. Simply place your knife as close as to the remainder of the bird's ribcage as possible and slice it off like so. The real tricky part is to remove the coracoid and the wishbone. You have to be super precise if you don't want to damage the delicate breast meat. I suggest you leave them on, including the remainder of the ribcage. Not only do they provide stability for the fragile breast while cooking, especially deep frying, but also come off easily once cooked. Most importantly though, the bones and that little bit of fat imparts well-needed flavor to the lean breast meat. So there you have it, 2 breasts, 2 wings, 2 thighs, 2 drumsticks and a back. Now you not only understand the basic anatomy of a chicken, but most other culinary birds too. They're all built the same way.
Ergo, you will be able to cut up any culinary bird you want. Just remember, it's all about finding those joints and letting the birdie come apart where it wants to. You are ready, America, now go and break a chicken yourself. Toodaloo!